going on here? This one. Check, check, check. Can you hear me now? Of course, I decide to be goofy, and that's what happens. Still can't hear. Still can't hear. Why is it showing up on there? What would it be? Test, 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 test. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know. I'm just looking at all my different mics. Okay, we can now? You guys can hear me now? Okay. I guess whatever I did there, fixed it. Just like that. I won't do that again then, because that obviously screwed up my audio somehow. Thank you guys for tuning in, though. Everybody can hear me loud and clear now. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. You guys could you guys hear me at all? Was I like faint? Yeah, I don't know. Could you hear me at all before? You guys probably missed my whole guitar, so I might have to play it again then. But yeah, got me now. But yeah, that's all good. Whatever. Who cares? It wasn't that important, anyways, right? So hopefully you guys are all doing really good. Good to see you all in the chats. Yeah, we're here to talk unpopular movie opinions. But before we do, please make sure you do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm sure I recognize all you guys, so I'm sure you guys all have. But definitely hit that like button if you haven't yet. Like this video to show your support. And, tell others to subscribe to my channel because I'm trying to climb to 1,000. I'm over the 800 mark. And, boy, it'd be cool to get to 1,000 before our next Indiegogo campaign. That'd be cool. I might do a giveaway. If we hit 1,000 subscribers before March, we're going to give away a perk from the campaign. But we have to hit 1,000 subscribers. Yes. Ooh, after you stopped playing, you dropped out. Oh, okay. So you could hear my guitar playing. I don't know what I did. That's weird. That's really weird. But whatever. It is what I'm going to have to hear it on the replay and see if I can hear exactly what happened. It's kind of weird that would happen, but anyways, doesn't matter. Cool. Marianne Markovich is in the chat as well. Thank you guys for all stopping by. You guys are awesome. Guys are so awesome. Yeah. And since Michelle's in the chat again, hey, let's give another plug to Michelle at Breathless Beauties. You've seen them before, but you know what? Let's just show them again because they're so awesome. And the new addition, of course, is the Leatherface doll that she added. Breathless Beauties, located in Syracuse, New York. So give her a message if you are interested in this kind of stuff. I think it's pretty awesome. I love it. I really want one. I really do. I'm thinking about it, Michelle. I'm just whether I can afford it or not. The shipping fees, that is. But and I still haven't got my elf yet. So I'm sure it's gonna come. Mike Katz, hola. Thanks for dropping by, Mike. I don't know if we've had you in the chat before. So if it's your first time, please make sure you do hit that like and subscribe button, and we'd be much appreciated. There you go. So yes, Breathless Beauties. Her links are in the description, folks. Follow her on Instagram and Facebook. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I love Michelle's stuff. And I'm sure you guys, I get comments all the time on how good her stuff is. So there you go. Mandy's in the chat as well. Princess Mandy Cantone. Hello. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, yes. So, we are going to talk now. Unpopular movie opinions. Now, this is general movie. I'm keeping this video pretty strictly movies that I like that most people don't. Okay? So, the vast majority of people, some of these films that I'm going to talk about today have a mixed audience. The first couple I'll talk about are actually more popular with fans, but they were definitely rejected by critics big time. And so I just want to briefly talk about those couple films, but there might be some surprises in here. I hope nobody's gonna hate on me after this, but so whatever, right? There might be because there might be some there might be one or two movies in here that I mention that you guys are going to just hate. Hey, Santi Coronas is in the chat as well. Joe boy, getting a lot of chatters now. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for sticking by me. This is our 12th episode, and it seems like the chatters just become more and more and more, and I love it. I love it. I love discussing this stuff with you. I'm a movie guy, so I have to talk movies. I need somebody to talk movies with. I don't have my wife and I have some differences on movies. She made me watch one of the Twilight movies in the theater. I'll drink to getting out of that theater. No, but actually, my wife and I do have, other than that one, and she does like her chick flicks. But you know what? There's the odd chick flick that I like. There is. Yeah, and I won't get into it too much, but I actually wrote and directed a feature length chick flick. I don't know if you totally call it a chick flick. I would call it a chick flick that guys probably wouldn't mind as well, but we never actually finished that movie. I would like to release it at some point. It's just got a lot of flaws in it. It was a 2-hour film that we made on a budget of $10K. So with a lot of stuff going on. So there's a trailer for it on YouTube, though. You guys can check that out. Follow Your Heart. We have a trailer on the channel here. You can just scroll down and you'll find a trailer for Follow Your Heart. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. It has potential. But it is more of a chick flick. But yeah, exactly. No hate. It's all your opinion as long as we all respect each other's opinions. Exactly. You said it right there, Brett. I almost called you Brad there first. I know it's Brett that's in the chat tonight, right? It is Brett. Or maybe it's both of you. I don't know. I think it's Brett, though. I think I saw that it was Brett earlier. But, tell Brad to get in here, too. You guys can both be on this. Well, I just want to start off with these first couple movies. We'll just go to them here. Tommy Boy and the Three Amigos. I feel like these two movies are generally liked by people, especially Tommy Boy. I really, really dig. I like both of these movies quite a bit. I'm like, Three Amigos was one of the first movies I saw when I was a kid. I was probably 5, maybe 6 when I saw the Three Amigos, back in 1986. That was a long time ago. So, yeah, it is Brett. There you go. I knew it was Brett. I just, gotta ask sometimes because both your names begin with B, so I get BR, in fact. So it's like easy to misread that. Excuse me. Yeah, but it's all good. So what are your guys' thoughts on those two movies? Maybe you haven't seen them. I don't know. But growing up, those movies were fairly popular amongst my family and my friends. I always hear people saying how much they love Tommy Boy. I love Tommy Boy. I thought, it's a pretty funny movie for the most part. And both of those, to me, are really good movies. I don't know. I place them pretty high in my rankings. But, I think they were more hated by critics. Those two films are more hated by critics. But let me know in the chat if you hate either of those movies. It's not a big deal if you do. Maybe you haven't seen them. Three Amigos is from the 80s, so it's like 85, 86, somewhere in there. They're both kind of, I guess you would call Saturday Night Live type movies because they feature a lot of SNL casts. Yeah. Lauren Michaels, I think, produced both of them, I think. I don't know. Who knows for sure? But, I mean, you can just Google it and find out, I guess. Maybe I should have done that. I don't know. But, I love those movies. And, I personally feel that critics are too hard on comedies. I don't know why, like the Academy. Why are not more comedies winning awards at the Academy Awards? You rarely see comedies winning awards at the like hardly ever really, like real comedies, you know. But it is what it. I don't know why. I don't know why they're so hard on comedies. Because to me, comedies are hard to do. I've attempted to make a comedy. I've made a comedy. The guy still hasn't released it. I directed it. I didn't write it or anything. I just directed it, and you know, it's really hard to. It's harder than people think to make something funny. You can write something funny, and then if the acting and the directing is not like right on point, it could not come across funny at all. So to make a comedy funny is really really tough. It's you got to take it really really seriously, and the timing has to be perfect and everything, you know. So I think comedies are always quite underrated. I think I got a few comedies on this list. So yeah, it's it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. And I don't know if comedies will ever get a little bit more respect amongst critics. You know, obviously not all comedies are hated by critics, but you know, for a comedy to never receive an Academy Award, I don't know. Like I'm sure, well, sure some comedies have, but it's not something you see very often. Like to me, some of the best comedies were snubbed big time. I won't get into that too much, but you know, I do feel like I do feel like there's not enough love for comedies. I don't know, but you know, it is what it is. Mike Cat says my unpopular movie opinion as a horror fan: The Fog was boring as fuck. Okay, there you go. It's I like The Fog. I'm a Carpenter fan though. Unless you're talking about the remake, then I agree with you. But I like the original. I do like the original Fog. But so you know, hey, but you know, it's not going to hit for everybody. You know, Carpenter's style isn't for everybody. I love his style, but you know, it's subjective. You know, I could see why somebody wouldn't like The Fog. I can see it. It's just, you know, different people have different opinions. You know, and I got some doozies on here. And not a ton of horror on this list, but there's a little bit. There's a little bit. We'll get to one horror film. I've talked about this film before a number of times, guys. So, we got a new Emerson Appollonia. Is that Michelle's husband? I guess Syracuse, New York, watching here. There you go. Michelle, is that your husband? Or your son or somebody? I don't know. Because they're both from Syracuse, so there you go. Yeah, let me know. Thank you, Emerson, for coming into the chat. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, guys. Need your support. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers here by March. By our next Indiegogo campaign for the Sawyer Massacre, we want to hit 1,000 subscribers. Your son, okay. Nice to meet you, Emerson. Your mom does excellent work with those dolls, and I can't wait to get my first one from her. And thanks for having me in that draw. It was kind of a surprise, but I'm glad was in it. So, anyways, yeah. So that's that. So I've talked about this film before, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. I don't need to get into too much with this film. It is one of those movies that's built up its following, so it's probably about half and half at this point now. But it was also not liked by critics as well. So, and it was one of those films, of course, I've said it before, that I didn't like when I first watched it either. But as I've gotten older, I just really appreciate the feeling that it has, actually. So, I won't talk about it too much because I've talked about it before. Just go back. If you haven't seen all my other videos, you just go back to, I think the last one even, I talked about Halloween 3. But yeah, it's probably about, I would say the fan base is about 50-50 now. It's like 50% of people hate the film and 50% of the people love it. I just happen to be on that 50% that loves it. So it's not a huge, I don't think it's a huge gap now. It's not something that's totally hated by people now, by moviegoers now. It obviously probably is still by critics. I mean, it has like, can't even remember what it said. Something like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, 25 to 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, somewhere in there. So it's really not got, really not critically well received. A lot of horror films aren't either. They're kind of with comedies there. So it is what it is, guys. I don't know. I love Halloween 3. And, if you don't like Halloween 3, I understand. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. And, there are some weak points in the film, I have to admit. I think I've gotten into that kind of stuff a little bit too in the past. So again, I won't get into it too much right now. And you guys in the chat, make sure you guys let me know your opinions on some of these films as well. Let me know. I always want to know. Always interested to know what your guys' thoughts are on this stuff. If you guys have any films that you love that is generally hated, put those in the chat as well. I am going to do another video in the future, not right away, of unpopular movies that I hate that most people love. I might even have to do that into two different two nights for that one, because there's so many. There's so many. I hate to say that, I hate to sound like a hater, but there really is so many movies that I just hate that everybody seems to love, and I get into, and it's like I'm like, oh, really? People like that? Not me. Anyways, I would probably have to do two. I might do movies I hate part 1 and movies I hate part 2. I don't know. We'll see. And speaking of another unpopular opinion, right behind me we got the Return of the Jedi poster. That's my all-time favorite Star Wars movie, not Empire Strikes Back. I know Return of the Jedi is not exactly a disliked movie. It's just not a lot of people have it as their number one. I do. It's my number one it's not only my number one Star Wars movie, it's in my top 5 films of all time. I love that movie that much. I love Return of the Jedi. And I might be, I won't say anything. But you might hear me talk about it more in the future. A little bit of a tease there. You might hear me talk more about Return of the Jedi in the future. Yes. We'll just leave it at that for now. In the new year, that is, we'll say. It's definitely not happening this year. Santi Coronas, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. Hey, there you go. There you go. Another, that's great. I like that one. I like that. I mean, I don't like the movie, but I like that we can have those opinions. I like certain things about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. I really hate the way Leatherface is done in that movie, though. But again, Matthew McConaughey makes that movie kind of interesting. Good Real Hunting says Return of the Jedi was a great ending to the original trilogy. It was, and honestly, to me, I don't think we ever needed a new trilogy. It kind of takes away from the ending of Return of the Jedi, in my opinion. But Camp Blood Media, what did I just walk into? Oh, you walked into something. Yes, you walked into the what would you call this? Boy, oh boy. There's a name I'm thinking. There's going to be no fighting, though. We all respect each other's opinions. Return of the Jedi is awesome. That's all I'm saying. It's the best, man. It's the best. And you saw me rank it in my top 10 films of all time ranking. So there you go. Mandy Cantone says, I'm obsessed with Jason versus Freddy. I think it's Freddy versus Jason, not Jason versus Freddy, if I'm not mistaken. But I think I know what film you're talking about. Yeah, how hated is that? I mean, I don't know. I know that a lot of people don't like that film. I'm not a big Freddy or Jason fan myself. I like Freddy a little bit more than I like Jason, but Yeah, I mean, I've never been huge on the horror icons, I guess you could say. I like Michael Myers, I guess, but I call him the boogeyman. To me, Michael Myers will always just be the boogeyman. That ambiguity is what I love. I wish they never called him Michael Myers. Even though, I mean, it is clear that that was what his name was, but they never said it in the original. So, anyways, yeah, it is Freddy versus Jason. There you go. I knew that. You knew that. You know what you meant. We all knew what you meant. Thanks, Mandy. Freddy versus Jason Dreamscape coming next year. They're making another Freddy versus Jason. Who's gonna play Freddy? Or is it a fan film? Maybe it's a fan film. Camp Blood Media would knows all the fan film. Hey, Brad! I like how it says Brad Goodreal hunting by your name. What's up? Growing up, Return of the Jedi was my favorite. It's changed since then, but I get it. There you go. Yeah, growing up, it was my favorite too. Mine just hasn't changed. And, you'll hear why. You'll hear why. Not on today's show, but, yeah. You I don't know. I'm being retarded right now. I'm trying to keep things mysterious, but it's not working, is it? I like Freddy versus Jason. Could have been better. Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I don't know. I don't remember really liking it very much when I watched it, but that was over 10 years ago. So it could be another one of those movies I need to rewatch. I didn't hate it. I know that. I didn't hate Freddy versus Jason like I've hated some other movies, which I won't talk about because, save that for the other video. Well, except for the ones that are generally hated, Anyways, I should move on. Where was I? I was talking about Halloween 3, so yeah, I don't need to say much about that one. Here's one I forgot about a little bit. I did forget about this film. It's kind of forgettable, but at the same time, when I think about it, I love the movie. It's just one of those movies that I can watch and there's something nostalgic about it. There's something that brings me back to my childhood about it. Yet it was really, really not liked by critics and people for the most part from what I know. But I think it has a following. I think it has a bit of a following. You tell me in the chat, and that is Drop Dead Fred. Does anybody remember this one? This came out, I think, about 1990, I think, which was around when I saw it. Yeah, man, I really dig this movie. I don't know. I liked it when I first saw it as a kid, and I still like it today. I love Phoebe Cates. She's one of those teenage crushes. What can I say? Everybody probably knows the scene from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. We all know that scene. I love that scene. Don't tell my wife that I love that scene. But I do. Come on, guys. You guys got to back me up on this. I know that there's guys in the chat that know what I'm talking about. Oh, I missed Camp Blood Media's. Yes, Cody Huskins making it feature-length fan film. There you go. Another awesome fan film being made. We fan filmmakers know where it's at. Just proven it again. Thank you, Cody Huskins. So I'll have to remember. I think I have Cody on my one of my social medias, anyways. So, yeah, cool. So he's making the Freddy versus Jason Dreamscape one. That's cool. That's pretty cool. So many awesome fan films coming out, and hopefully they just keep coming. Hopefully, fan films take over a lot of the Hollywood films, in my opinion, because just a lot of this Hollywood garbage is churning out is not the best, especially in horror. Other genres, they're good, but in horror, definitely need more fan films. But anyways, moving on to some horror. Let's do some horror here, folks. Where was I? I've talked about this movie before as well. Talk about it again because this one also had a terrible Rotten Tomato score, and it's another one kind of like Halloween 3 where it's about 50-50, but I think I see more hate for it than love from common viewers, but I love the movie. That's The Human Centipede. Yeah, man. I love The Human Centipede. I've talked about this film before cuz it's in my top 10 horror films. I had it, not super super high in my top 10, but it's in my top 10 horror films. I thought it was really really good. I think the premise is really disturbing. Is it like really scary? No, it's not like super scary or anything like that. I don't think you can I wouldn't call this one of the scariest films ever made, but I definitely found it very disturbing. And I think to me that's a big thing. I don't see a lot of new stuff that I find disturbing. So, anyways, do, 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 do. Oh, his new trailer. Can't Blood Media says a new trailer came out last night, and that was for the Freddy versus Jason. I'm guessing. Mandy Cantone loves Drop Dead Fred as well. There you go. I don't know. It kind of the recent. I'll go back to Drop Dead Fred here for a second because I moved on a little bit quick there. Sorry. But yeah, going back to Drop Dead Fred. Most of us, I think, had imaginary friends when we were really young, and I definitely had imaginary friends, at least a couple that I can, recall. But yeah, I mean, so it kind of that movie sort of takes you back to your childhood in that regard, because she's looking back at her childhood, at her imaginary friend, and it's very very real. It's very real to her. It's there's I I think it's something we all kind of need when we're a kid as well, and I don't know. It's it just takes me back to that, simpler times when when that was definitely part of my life, and I can look back at it now like she was looking back in the film and get that nostalgic feeling of when I was a kid and I had an imaginary friend and we did some not so good things, but it was fun. you know you know what I'm talking about? Does that make sense? Some of you might not have seen that movie. I don't know, but at least Mandy has. Hopefully, some of you have. Uh, Santi says, "I haven't watched this one. I don't. Which one are you? Are you talking about Drop Dead Fred, or are you talking about the Human Centipede? Going back to the Human Centipede right now. We can go back to that one now. The first one was good. New idea at the time. No need for sequels. I imagine we're talking again about the Human Centipede there, because I think so. Anyways, yeah, because you're very right. It's you don't need to try to redo that same thing. I mean, unless you can find a way to make it scarier. That's one thing. Maybe the first Human Centipede lacked a little bit, was some scares. Not a lot of scares, but you had pretty good characters, decent acting, and a disturbing premise. And I think that's what you needed. You didn't need to show it all like they did in the sequels. You didn't need to make this 20 some odd person centipede. You didn't need to. The three person, you got to know each one of those three. You didn't know any of the 20 some odd people in the second one or the third one or whatever. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, you didn't need to. Because you need to make sure what characters you have are fleshed out, that you know them to some degree. I think with the sequel, from what I saw, I kind of turned it off like probably barely halfway through the film, because I just thought it was so stupid. Is that all the focus was on the guy doing it and not on the characters? So I feel nothing for these characters, and it doesn't matter what you show, how grotesque and stuff it is. If you don't feel anything for them, you're not scared by it. That's for sure. It's just a gross. It was done purely as a gore fest. The sequels were. I never saw the third one, but I heard it's pretty much the same thing as the second one. Just too bad. It's just too bad. Because there is, but I think there was maybe a little bit of potential for a sequel if they could find a way to make it a little bit scarier. But I don't know. It's easier said than done. That's for sure. That's for sure. Going into some, I think that's all I need to say about that. But again, feel free to share your opinions on the Human Centipede. I know a lot of people hate it, and I get that. But to me, the first one is good. The rest of them are crap. But another thing though too, when I see people talk about it on social media, is they tend to talk about the first one, the first Human Centipede, as if it was they saw a lot of gross things in it. You really don't, though. That's the thing. I like. Did you watch the same movie? Are you sure you saw the first one? And no, they'll show that same poster that I had up. They'll show the same, this one right here. The same. I just saw this movie. Boy, this was the grossest movie I ever saw. I'm like, well, there was not really anything too gross to say. The premise is gross, but as far as what you see, things were implied rather than actually being showed. And yeah, to me that's the difference for me. Anyways, but feel free to share your hate for the film if you do hate it. I understand why people might hate it. I don't understand when they say that though, that it's just a gross fest, because the first one really isn't. The sequels, yes, but not the first one. So watch it again. Maybe you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't know. Moving on to some comedy. I think this one has its share of fans as well. But I've heard a lot of people say they hate it. I don't know. Maybe I might get hate for this. I might get hate for this one. I like this film. It is ridiculous. I acknowledge that this film is totally ridiculous. I don't care. I just dig this film. I thought it was funny, and if you can not take it serious, I mean, it's a comedy, people. Anyways, the movie I'm talking about is White Chicks, the Wayans brothers. Again, it's absolutely totally ridiculous, but I get a kick out of watching this movie. My wife and I actually watched it fairly recently, like 2 or 3 months ago, somewhere in there. And I just remembered how funny I thought it was. I don't know. I can see why people don't like it though too. Again, voice your opinions in the chat if you want to, because I don't know. I can get a kick out of it. It's not a movie I'm gonna have super high up on my rankings anywhere. I don't think I would put it in my top 100 films of all time or anything like that. Probably no, I don't think I would. But it's a good comedy. It's a good comedy that it's a turn your brain off kind of comedy, and I don't know. I like those sometimes. Sometimes I mean they can if it goes things go too far, and I don't know. I have my share of comedies that I don't like either. For certain reasons, and again, I won't get into that too much right now. I want to focus on this. You know what I mean. With White Chicks, I'm like they get me right off the bat with that opening scene with them, where they're dressed up as Latino guys, and one I don't know which one it is. It starts saying Guantanamera, Guantanamera. He starts saying that. Yeah, Terry Crews is hilarious. Yeah, you are right, Brett. You are right. Terry Crews was good in that movie. I like Terry Crews in that movie. I like Terry Crews. I think he's actually he's a bit underrated. I don't see him in enough stuff. I liked him in that one, and I liked him in what's the name of it? Idiocracy. He was in Idiocracy, right? I am thinking of the right movie, right? But yeah. I need to see more movies with Terry Crews. I think he's good. I think he's funny. I think he's a lot of things, that guy. But yeah, the Guantanamo, I don't know. It gets me right off the bat. It makes me want to see the rest of the movie. I don't know. Again, it's just one of those movies that you can just turn your brain off and enjoy some laughs. That's why I like it. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, see, I haven't actually watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but yes, I know he's in that too. Yeah, gotta watch that. Anyways, thank you, Michelle. What was I talking about? Yeah, white chicks. I don't know. Share your opinion. Do you like white chicks? Do you hate white chicks? Yeah. Because again, I find that there are it's not just critics that don't like that movie. It was very, very poorly received by. It was like 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that Rotten Tomatoes is the be all, and I mean, you guys got to remember how Rotten Tomatoes works, and I'm still surprised how many people don't seem to understand how Rotten Tomatoes works, but whatever. Well, that's another conversation for another day. But the fact is, when you have 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's generally not a favorable movie. Generally not. But I dug it. Anyways, moving on a bit. It's 8:40. I've still got a few more here, I think. Yeah, I got a few more. Yeah, let's do this one now. So, kind of going back into the horror realm. Again, this one actually was fairly well critically received. I think there's more people don't like. I see a lot of hate from moviegoers. So I don't know how controversial this one will be. Don't know how. We'll see. See what you guys say. You guys let me know. But I really, really liked. I'm not gonna say loved, but really liked Mother or Mother because it's got that exclamation point at the end. Uh, who knows why? I have no idea why the exclamation point is there. I'm sure it means something. But, anyways, yeah, Mother. I mean, it took me about halfway through the movie till I kind of was putting the piece together as to what we were seeing. But once I did, I respected it a lot more because I was thinking this is kind of weird. What the hell is all this about? And then, at a certain point, it's like, okay, I think I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get the biblical references and all that kind of stuff. I get all this Adam and Eve, God, Mother Earth, all that's, once that clicks in, I started to like it a lot more. I can see why a lot of people don't like this movie, especially if you didn't get that. If you didn't get all those symbolic things throughout the film, I can totally understand why you wouldn't like Mother. It's a hard to watch film. It is very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very artistic. I mean, it's really well shot, but because it's done in such an artistic way, they're going for a certain uncomfortable feeling, and you really do feel uncomfortable. I think a lot of people don't like that. It's kind of like the Blair Witch Project with the shaky cam. They did that on purpose, but people didn't like it, and unfortunately, a lot of people didn't like that. Again, I could have put the Blair Witch Project on this list as well because I feel like that's kind of half and half as well with viewers, but at the same time, it was pretty well critically acclaimed, so I didn't feel the need to go over that movie again. Mandy said something in the chat. It was okay to watch once. I wasn't a huge fan of white chicks. Oh well, I mean, it's not a movie I'm gonna go watch all the time. It's a movie I've seen maybe 3 or 4 times ever, and it's one of those movies. Oh, if it's on, I'm gonna watch it. If I see that opening Guantanamo, that opening bit, that scene, I'm gonna want to watch the whole thing. It's the way it is. Yeah. So I dig it. But yeah. Anyways, back to what was I talking? Mother. Any thoughts on Mother in the chat, everybody? Did everybody get the whole biblical references, the symbolic stuff? I think there's a couple things I didn't quite understand. Like she was drinking something throughout the film. I'm trying to figure out what that was symbolic of. Maybe of self-healing in some sort of way. I don't know. Because it is hard to pick up everything, but you get the general sense of what the movie is about. And I could see why a lot of religious people would not like it either. If you are heavily religious and, you believe in God and you think that, you worship a God, if you worship a God of any kind, this movie kind of depicts God as being a very self-centered individual that only really cares about his ego and stuff like that. So, I mean, I can get that. I can understand that. But at the end of the day, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Maybe a little bit too on the nose. But again, you try to be subtle, and everybody will hate you for that too. So, So anyways, that's my thoughts on Mother. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat if you guys have any thoughts on that film. Maybe none of you have seen that movie. Nobody's commenting on Mother. Maybe nobody wants to offend me. You won't offend me, guys. If you didn't like the movie, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because, again, these are all opinions. And, we all have our own opinions. But tell me in the chat if... whether you liked Mother or hated Mother, or maybe you didn't see it. Maybe I just spoiled the whole film for you. I don't know. Not everybody. I'm sure not everybody's seen it. Maybe I should give spoiler warnings. I don't know. I've never given spoiler warnings on this. But again, none of these are like brand new films, though, either. Do I need to give? Let me know in the chat if I need to give spoiler warnings in the future for movies that are older. Let me know. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on because it's 15 minutes to 9. So, want to get through these. Still got a couple more here. This is another one I feel like it's 50-50, but was hated by critics. Again, I'm not sure. Michelle Appollonia, haven't seen it. Well, sorry if I spoiled it for you. I didn't spoil too much, but go into it knowing that there's some symbolic stuff. Not for me. Oh, really? You don't like that kind of stuff? Oh, I love it. Well, I can't say I love Mother. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. But I was confused for the first half. So once I understood it, I appreciated it a lot more. Anyways, but I thought it was not bad. Very artistic. It's a very, very, very artsy kind of film. But I kind of like the message a little bit. I kind of do. I don't know. It's kind of says a lot about humanity in general. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No worries. All right, moving on. I got a couple more here. I'm going to end with probably the most controversial one. I'll end with the most controversial one. I'll go to this one. Oh, I'm a massive Spielberg fan, so I love this film. I don't love all of Spielberg's films. This one, people either love it or hate it, I find. Again, I love it. Critics didn't like it, though, and a lot of people don't like it, so I thought, sure, we should put this on this list as well. But I love this film. I kind of grew up with it a little. When I was a little bit older, but it's a movie I watched throughout my, early teen years anyways. And that's Hook. Peter Pan sequel, I guess you could call it. No, I really dug this movie. I still like it. I go back to this movie once in a while, check it out, and to me it holds up. I think it's really good. The performances are really good. But I know that a lot of people don't like it, but a lot of people like it as well. Oh, Manny Cantone also hasn't seen Mother. Oh, Well, there you go. I thought everybody's seen it, but maybe not. Some, we're not all gonna see every movie, I guess. But yeah, again, check it out. Make up your own mind. Maybe you would. Maybe you'd like it. Maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. Have you seen Hook though? We're talking about Hook now, real quick, because I want to spend more time on the last movie. Because I know that the last movie I'm probably gonna get some hate from you guys. Probably. Good Real Hunting, you're gonna want to stay. Both you guys from Good Real Hunting, you might want to stay in the chat for the last movie. I think you guys might, and again, just voice your opinions. But anyways, yeah. So Hook. I never really grew up loving Peter Pan. Is kind of the funny thing. I had seen the Disney cartoon movie of Peter Pan, and I didn't really, I didn't think much of it. It wasn't something I was really into as a young kid. But when Hook came out, we actually saw it in the theater. I remember, I think it was about 1990-ish, somewhere in there, 90, 91, whenever the movie came out. And I remember really liking the movie, the idea of an older Peter Pan, and to me it worked really well. Everybody who was in the film did a really good job. Dustin Hoffman was awesome as Hook. Bob Hoskins was awesome as Shmee. And hey, Glenn Close played a man in that just one little scene, but she did a good job. She convinced me. I don't know. I love the movie. It's not something super hated by people, but voice your opinions in the comments, whether you like Hook, whether you've seen Hook, maybe you not, maybe you haven't even seen it. It is old. It came out in like 90 or 91 here, folks. Somewhere in there, I can't remember the exact year, but I think it's one of those years that it came out. Robin Williams, I love Robin Williams, of course. What's the old lady's name? Maggie Smith, which she's still around too. She's she wasn't as old in that movie as I actually thought. Apparently, she was only like in her 60s, early 60s. She looked older. But yeah. The chat is delayed. Just saying. Oh, is the chat delayed? Oh. Wonder why it's delayed. That's weird. Could be an internet issue. I hope I'm not having internet issues, guys. I could see that. I think I had a bit of internet issues for my 10th episode. It was one of those. But Maddie Cantone says, Hook is good. Good Real Honey. Gotta hear. Okay, we'll get to it now, though, because we're getting closer to 9 now. So let's spend some time on this last one. So the movie, I really love this movie, and it's hated by pretty much everyone. This is the creme de la creme right here, folks. I get flack for this all the time. Now, I really want to hear from you guys in the chat what it is you guys really hate about this movie. I won't necessarily agree with you. I know it's not a perfect movie, but I don't understand why it's as hated as it is, and that's Rocky V. Rocky V, ladies and gentlemen, I love Rocky V, and I will go as far to say as Rocky V is my second favorite Rocky film after the first one. It's close with Rocky II, but I just like Rocky V a little bit more than Rocky II. I don't really like Rocky III that much. I mean, I don't mind Rocky III, but if there's one of those first 5 films that I could throw away, it's probably Rocky III. But but yeah, tell me, guys, in the chat. I'm sure if the chat's not too delayed, like it apparently is. Tell me, what is it about Rocky V that everybody seems to hate so much? Because I think it is awesome. Official Scream Queen Stephanie Beaton. Hey, how are you? Hey, thank you for tuning in at nearly the end here. This is the last film I am talking about. Unless you guys in the chat want to talk about some films that you love that most people hate as well. But I'm doing good. Scream Queen Stephanie Beaton. How are you? How are you? How are you doing? We're talking about Rocky 5 right now. So let me get into what I really, really like about this movie. Okay, first off, it is a totally different pace. It is a totally different story than the other films, and it needed to have a different story than the other films. It needed to go back to kind of grounding itself. Rocky needed to go back to being that grounded character. I felt he couldn't go on in another boxing match. I wouldn't believe that he would have gone on to box again after that. And he kept saying, "I'm retiring, I'm retiring, I'm retiring," and then we're gonna see it again. Just didn't make sense. So I liked the route that they took, where he becomes a trainer. I like that. I think it's a really good angle. I love the dynamic between Rocky and his son in the movie. I think the dynamic between those two is awesome. It's really awesome in my opinion. I gotta hear what these guys have to say. Oh, Brad and Jason Knight will find that opinion very interesting. I think Jason Knight actually already knew that. I've told him that Rocky 5 is my second favorite. So, Jason Knight needs to come in the chat sometime. I don't think have I ever had Jason Knight in the chat. I've been on his channel before, but I don't think I've seen him in my chat before. He usually does a show like right before mine though. So, anyways, I like Rocky 5, but I have to have it as my least favorite. Yeah, I don't know why though. I just don't know why people have it. Some people say they like it, but it's their least favorite. How could you like? I don't know. I don't understand how people could like it better than like Rocky 3 or like it less than Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. To me, those are very generic. I like Rocky 4 a little bit more than Rocky 3. That's for sure. I kind of like the going to Russia and all that kind of stuff, and it had there was a good message about bringing the two nations together, kind of a little bit, and the timing was right for that. So I give Rocky 4 a little bit more than Rocky 3. But to me, Rocky 5 was it was the most emotional I've felt with Rocky, other than in the original. I really felt for him and everything he was going through with his family, and losing that connection with his son and then getting it back at the end. I don't know. I think it's great. If the weakest point to me of Rocky 5, in my opinion, the only weak point was Tommy Morrison's acting is pretty bad. I can kind of see past that though. Yeah, he wasn't very good. But the film as a whole, I think the story is it's not the same Rocky, and I felt like they were making the same Rocky movie over and over after that. Once you got to 4, it was like, geez, they can't do another one like that. There's no way they could have done another one like that. But still people hated it. I didn't want to see Rocky training for another fight again. I think it was done. They made their point with it. Yes, he got to the point where he was considered like the greatest fighter of all time, whatever. It didn't need to do it again. They needed to show Rocky in a different light. And I think that was they went the right angle. They went the right angle in that movie, and I'm always shocked to see how many people hate that film. I'm always shocked to see the hate. I am definitely feel like I'm very alone when it comes to that movie. Michelle, like all the Rocky films, just went a kick. Oh, sorry. We just went a kick with them all over the summer. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, my wife and I did that a couple years ago. And again, this was another thing that my wife actually agreed with me on. Hey, Rocky 5 was actually really, really good. I actually didn't really like Creed very much, to be honest with you. I thought I was going to like that one more. I kind of felt like Creed, I didn't mind. I'm not going to say I hated Creed, but because I didn't mind it. It's an okay film. It might be my least favorite Rocky film though. I don't know. We'll see. That and Rocky 3, I don't know. They're pretty close. But I like all the Rocky films for the most part. But Creed, I think the thing that I don't like about Creed is it kind of paints Apollo Creed in a little bit of a bad picture, like he cheated on his wife and all. I didn't like that. I don't believe that he would have ever done that. I don't believe it. So I don't know. I didn't like that aspect of it. I also didn't like the guy's acting. What's his name? The guy that played Creed's son. I always forget his name. His acting is weak. I've seen him in a few films, and I think he's I have a hard time believing he's Carl Weathers' son as well. But yeah, I didn't like Creed very much. That would be it might be my least favorite. I never saw Creed 2 though. And they made a sequel to it, and I never saw. I don't know. I should get on it, I guess. Is Creed 2 any good? Tell me in the chat if the Creed 2 is any good, because I don't know. Good Real Hunting says, I love both of the Creed movies. Give them a watch. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hate. Like I said, I didn't hate Creed. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was gonna like it, because I mean, I guess everybody was. It was pretty hyped up, Creed. And at the end of the day, I thought it was okay. I wish the guy's acting was better. Michael B. Jordan, that's who it is. Yeah, Michael B. I wish his acting was better. He's not a very strong actor in my opinion. I didn't like him in the Black Panther movie either. Didn't like him in that. He's kind of a poor actor. I think they could have gotten a better actor to play Creed's son, but I guess he probably had the look they wanted. And sometimes look is more important. And in Hollywood, look is more important these days than acting ability. But that's just my opinion. Again, certain actors. Hey, I know a lot of people like Michael B. Jordan. I just don't. I've only seen him in a couple movies though. So that one and Black Panther. I'm trying to think if I've seen him in anything else. He's probably been in other things that I would know, but I don't know. Anyways, does anybody feel the same love though for Rocky 5 that I do? Is there anybody else in the chat that's feeling the love for Rocky 5 like I? 'Cause I don't know. To me, it's a great movie. It was a great change. I really like the flashbacks with Mickey too, even though you can definitely tell that the guy was older and it wasn't way back 15 years earlier, or however, well, maybe not quite 15 years earlier, but I still liked it though. I still like those flashbacks. It adds something to their relationship that Rocky and Mickey had. And the scene near the end where Adrian tells talks to Rocky to go after his son. I don't know. The street fight at the end with Rocky, it's you didn't get Rocky in the ring, but you got a good street fight out of it, and he kicked his ass too. I mean, it just felt right. It was a movie that felt right to me. It was still boxing was still very heavy in the movie. Tommy Morrison's acting was the only thing I didn't like. It's kind of, I guess you could say it was kind of like Michael B. Jordan's acting in Creed for me, but I guess the difference for me there would be Michael B. Jordan was the main character in Creed, and Tommy Machine Gun was a secondary character. And so I mean, it's about Rocky at the end of the day. That movie was about Rocky still, and Stallone gave a good performance. I felt like he took it back to Rocky. He took the character back to the way the character originally was. And I kind of lost that same Rocky vibe. That was the things I was not quite feeling in Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. I wasn't feeling like this was the same guy anymore. I know that his life had changed and he got rich and all that stuff, but I was having a hard time connecting with that same Rocky. Again, I still like the movies, guys, but I might seem hard on those ones, but I do still like Rocky 3 and Rocky 4, but it wasn't like Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 where, I don't know, the character just seemed to be vastly different once Rocky 3 came around. For me, it did. I don't know. It wasn't feeling like he was the same guy, even though obviously it was. I don't know. I hope that all makes sense. Anyways, that's all I have to say about it. But give me, feel free to give me your hate. If you want to give me your hate, that's great. The Michael B. Jordan opinion on Black Panther was the biggest shock for me of the night. Oh, really? But I can understand where you're coming from. So I take it, Brett, that you liked him in Black Panther, because I felt he almost kind of ruined the movie. I liked all the performances in that movie except for his. Just saying. That's just me though. It's just an opinion. I don't know. He's what's the word I'm looking for? He almost feels like he's not even trying to act at all. Like he's just being him. That's kind of the sense I get. He's not acting, he's just playing himself. And I never feel like I'm getting a character out of him in either of those movies. But again, that's just the way I feel. Again, I've gotten my share of hate for the Leonardo DiCaprio comment I made. Hey, I get that all the time. And a lot of people love DiCaprio. I don't. Some people don't like him either. It's all good. Anyways, any questions at the Q&A? Feel free to share your opinions. We'll wrap it up in a few minutes, though. If we don't have any other chatters chatting it up, Brett, did Brad end up leaving the chat? He may have left the chat because I wanted to hear his opinion on that. Because on Rocky 5. Because you know what, Brett, I saw you and Brad do that Rocky character video, the whole character of Rocky. You're talking about the character of Rocky and how you guys just kind of glazed over the way he was in Rocky 5. I don't know. I was like, really? He had a lot. There's a lot of character development in. Oh, you are here. I thought there was a lot more character development with Rocky and Rocky 5. And but I really felt you got more what's the word I'm looking for? More dynamics in his character. I guess dynamics is the right word. Again, it's just my opinion though, guys. I don't know. If I was doing a Rocky character type thing, I would definitely spend a lot of time on Rocky 5. But again, I love it. I don't hate Rocky 5, but it's definitely my least favorite. Why do you guys like 3 so much? Like, I don't know. I don't care for 3. And Creed. I don't know what it is about those 2 movies. I still like them. I like them, but I don't love them. I don't love those ones. To me, I feel like it's kind of just rolling with the same story kind of thing, and it wasn't bringing a lot new. Wasn't a lot new happening, so I don't know. That's just my feeling, guys. Rocky 5 is my second favorite Rocky film after the original. Original is still my favorite. Rocky 2 and Rocky 5 are pretty close for me, but I like Rocky 5 a little bit more, have to say. We will revisit Rocky 5 when we do our series. We didn't want to give too much away in the breakdown. I didn't like his development in that. Well, there you go. It's just a difference of opinion, I guess. I don't know. I really loved it. I loved. I guess I love father-son relationships too. I'm big on that. I think, and I thought that their chemistry was really good together. It's just my opinion, though. Again, but played the brain. Yeah, that's another thing I really love. He did play the brain damage thing really well. To me, it worked for me very, very well. Yeah, I don't know. I like Mr. T. He's kind of the. Yeah, Michelle says I didn't care for Rocky 3. Clubber Lang was awful. I like Mr. T, but very generic Mr. T is what you got. You didn't. I mean, even though I like Mr. T, he is the same in everything. He is the same in everything. Whether it be the A-Team or your Clubber Lang, he's always the same. He was always the same guy. But at the same time, there's still something really lovable about him. But it's not a lot of dimensions to him. That's for sure. Mandy, I'm still here listening, finishing a painting. Oh no, don't worry about it. Hey, I'd love to see that painting. Send me a pic of it sometime. Didn't care for Rocky 5. Hey, that's okay. I did like Creed though. Hey, we again differences of opinion. I don't know. Again, Creed, I like it. It's not something I'm gonna watch very often. Again, I wish that Michael B. Jordan, I wish his performance was a little bit better. And I wish that they didn't kind of paint Apollo Creed the way they did, because I just don't believe it. I don't believe that that's what Apollo Creed did. I don't believe it. That's I think those are my two biggest beefs with Creed. I have to watch Creed 2 still. I just haven't got around to it. You know me. I'm a busy dude and I just don't get a lot of time to watch movies, and usually when I do watch movies it's with my wife and she's picking chick flicks. So but anyways, there you go. It's okay that we have these differences of opinion. I kind of like to find out why a little bit. I understand why. I understand that you don't have the same opinion. I mean, I'd like to get some perspective, though. What was it about the performance? I don't know. We probably don't have enough time, but what is it about these films that I don't know. I find it weird. I do find it weird that I like Rocky 5 so much, and most people hate it. It's just it's really weird. It is kind of weird to me, but I don't know. I guess we all have different opinions, and that's just the way it is. But I told you why I liked it. Again, father-son dynamic. Stallone was great in that movie. The route they took, the route they took of him training somebody. He's now a trainer rather than a boxer. That's what needed to happen for there to be a new one. But I like all that stuff. I like the relationships in that movie. I think the relationships are great in that movie. Anyways, his son, his relationships at school. I guess it's relating to all that kind of stuff, because I've been there where I've moved to a new school and I was the unpopular kid, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I find it more relatable. It's more grounded to me. I don't know if that makes enough. If you guys get that or not, but that's the way I feel about that movie. I don't feel like a lot of the other ones are quite there like that one is. I like them. I just don't like them like I like that one. Yeah. I'm rambling now, guys. Sorry for rambling too long. I'll end this now. I think we've had thoughts on it. Oh, you know what? I don't know all the details. I've been trying to find more details about that. I'm gonna go over the details, and I probably talk about it on my next video. I think it is awesome that you like it, though. Yeah, I think it's underrated for sure. It's definitely underrated when you consider how many people hate it. It gets a lot. It's still a good flick. There you go. I don't think it'll ever be rated as high as I would like it to be rated. That's for sure. But that's okay. That's definitely. I think that is my most controversial movie opinion that I like. Next time we'll talk about. I don't know if I'll do that next time. Maybe I will. Movies that I hate that most people love. We're gonna get into some real interesting topics there. I'll try to keep it as hate-free as possible. It's just movies that I just don't like that people do. I won't be putting any of the Rocky movies in there though, because you know what, I do like all of them to some degree. Every single Rocky movie gets above 5 out of 10, at least for me. I can say that. Above 5 out of 10. Like 5.5 to 6 would be my lowest rating in the Rocky series. And that would probably go to Creed and Rocky 3. But, Rocky 5 is like a 8.5, 9. Rocky 1 is like a 9.5. 9 to 9.5 for sure. Somewhere in there. No film is perfect for me. Just so you know, I don't believe in perfect. Don't believe in perfect. So even my highest rated film, I'd give it like a 9.9 out of 10. The Big Lebowski. That's my favorite film right there, boys and girls. Anyways, yeah, great show. Thanks for sticking around there, guys. It's been great chatting with you. We'll see you on Tuesday. Tuesday might be my only show next week because my schedule is a little bit different. If I do a second show, it'll be on Saturday, and probably Saturday around 7 instead of 8, if I do a second show. But definitely Tuesday is on. Because of the weekend next weekend I'm sort of getting into my Christmas stuff. Not Christmas like movies. Christmas stuff around the house. Christmas baking. I have a lot of baking to do. Yes, I do baking. I do Christmas baking. Anyways, thanks. So thanks, guys. We'll see you on Tuesday, same time, same place. I'll share you all the link again. Whether it be on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you'll see the link. You guys have a good night. This was episode 12. So have a good one.